going on, fam? Welcome to another great episode of Our Smooth Club, the show where everyday men discuss everyday topics. I'm Arrington Gavin, alongside with me, my fellow co-hosts. I have Mr. Andre Marable, Mr. Eric Castano, and Mr. Jonathan Jones. Gentlemen, how's everybody doing today?
Fantastic,
man,
fantastic.
Looking fresh. Y'all need to start giving me what we're supposed to wear, because I'm tired of y'all stepping up. Just saying. But everybody looks fresh, man. Day's going good so far. Staying busy.
Yeah, go good.
Awesome. So look, I was in one of the episodes we had mentioned about, we were talking about the comedian Monique and Netflix and that whole situation she has going on. And in the back of my head, I'm like, what else is like interesting about Monique? And the whole thing that they always mention is like her open marriage. She's been married for 20 plus years and has an open marriage. And it dawned me, I'm like, well, let me look up, different other celebrity couples that have an open marriage. And, you have Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. You have, T-Pain and his wife, which I didn't know T-Pain was even married. You have, here's a new one, Dolly Parton and her husband. They've been married since the 60s, and they have an open marriage. So I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on open marriage? Because for me, it's like a long-term friends with benefits kind of thing. I don't even is the term marriage, should that even be allowed in an open, in an open marriage? What's your thoughts? I'll start with the only married person here at the door right now. Eric, what's your thoughts, man?
Marriage is marriage, and I think having the open marriage thing, I mean, if that's an agreement that those couples have, so be it. I don't personally think it's something that you should have in your marriage, although people do it and they have success with their marriages and so on and so forth. But that's just something that over the time people have a level of trust. And I guess when you have open marriages like that, the trust level has got to be, on the 1,000, right, to a level where there's complete open trust. There's no complete transparency on everything. There's no lies. There's no secrecy or anything of that nature. Because at that point, you're basically bringing somebody else into a relationship for a temporary moment of time, and then you go about their business, and vice versa. So, are you comfortable with the fact another man being with your wife? But is your wife comfortable being with another woman? So these are questions as an individual that you have to ask yourself, and if that's okay with you, and is your partner okay with that, then okay, then I guess it's all right. Biblically and religiously, that's a whole other thing.
Should not come upon, because I'm
right, exactly. The whole jealousy issue at that point, that's a conversation that you would really have to have with that person and know that, okay, we're going to bring in a third person, or I'm going to bring this person. We're going to have an open relationship, and both parties agree. Then okay, but
what about you?
That's just weird.
It is weird. It's very weird.
Why are you married? What type of connection do you have where you're fine with them being with somebody else, but you just have some emotional connection where you're
you spend money on a wedding.
Yeah,
you got a honeymoon. It. And it's funny because I start thinking those shows, Sister Wives, to do with 5 wives. Which again is weird. He has a house for each wife. First of all, I don't even know what he does for a living, and I'm like, where does the funds come from? Is this get it from the city or something? I don't know. I really don't know. But you have that. You have you got a lot of weird shows.
They're all on TLC too.
I know, right? TLC is just weird.
They be having it. They be having them weird ass shows.
You really do.
The dude, that Duggar dude, he got raided by the FBI for child pornography.
It's just the one that kept on popping babies. It's over 25,000 and counting or something. Like that. I don't know. I'm exaggerating. It's 25, but still, it's to the point where. That'll be another episode. TLC is just weird.
But it's funny though, it's a huge community of people that get together on a regular basis and do their thing. The Virginia Friends, that's what it's called. I couldn't think of the name earlier. But they actually have conventions throughout, Virginia.
Yeah, I've seen some places that have clubs where it's some membership only swingers type.
Right.
Look, dude, I think open marriage is just for somebody who can't be single by themselves and be able to be by themselves. They just want to get married, but
like I said, I just think of it long-term friends with benefits. And here's it gets even more weird when you have children involved. If you have kids with this person, again, so are you teaching your kid that, man, you don't gotta, whatever. You could just, do whatever. You could still be married and still have your fun. Like it's weird and it's starting to get confusing now. It's just give a big headache because I know I read something. The actress that played Akilah Nabi. That's the only thing I can think of.
Keke Palmer.
Keke Palmer said, until she is married, she is still single. So regardless if she's with some, in a relationship or something, it's like I'm still a single person until marriage. I'm still a single person. So in my head, I'm like, she'll probably get married and still have open marriage or something. But it's weird. I just wanted your guys' thoughts on it. It's just that was really
yeah, not my cup of tea either. But a lot of people are doing it. I mean, it's more.
And they're still married. Maybe it's a stress. Again, the term jealousy or something like or trust. I mean, they fully trust them. They're like, hey, you can have your fun, but I know you're gonna be back home and cooking dinner and all that stuff like that. Normal routine. Hey, honey, how was your day today? I'm good. Hey, I met up with such and such, and yeah, it's just weird.
It's weird. Like you just have a conversation, like.
It's just funny. Like, what are you doing this weekend? I'm gonna go out with her, and I'll be back soon. It's weird. It's weird. But here on the show, we like having weird conversations sometimes. So, look, good feedback for you fellas. Look, we'll be back with our Smooth Club. So let's quick commercial break.
Kick Troy's Achilles and I shoot like Legolas and fly around Earth on Pegasus. The throne is for the taking, so I'm sending these messages. No belligerent talk, the cup is half full with a measurement. The way I'm work these bars and it's like I had a regimen. The boy rock solid like sediment. 10 years till they see the legacy. I don't like bygones be bygones, cause by the end the time's gone. New to the game like Zion. One push of a button, niggas is.
And welcome back to our Smooth Club. Guys, I'm going to talk about a pretty important topic that's going on right now, which is the immigration that's going on here in the United States. Something that's been kind of pulling at my heartstrings a little bit. And, there's a major concern, obviously with the police reform that's been going on with the Black community. But there's also a problem that's going on with the immigration here in the United States. As a Latin person, as me being Latin, there's a lot of Hispanic Americans, Latinos that are going through a major immigration situation since Biden stepped into office. And one of the cases that are happening right now is that people being raped and violated and kids sleeping on floors and cages in these concentration camps down by the borders of Mexico and all this other stuff. And, I just wanted to know what is your take on that, number one? And then number two, based upon, with the similarities with the police reform and Black Lives Movement and what have you, is there a comparison between the two? Because in my opinion, there is a lot of comparisons between the two. There is a lot of slaveries and there is a lot of poverties in the Latin community as well, but it doesn't get mentioned as much. So I want to know what you guys' take is on that side of that. So I'll start with you.
Well, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I mean, the key thing is discrimination, mistreatment. I mean, we do have so much going on with law enforcement in the community, but we also have the immigration going on. It's just to the point where, America has a lot of work to do, a lot of work. We're not even like fully close to even, solving that. And I mean, like you had mentioned, you have families, you have kids that are separated from parents. You have, you have people sleeping on hard floor with not even a blanket, with aluminum foil. You know what I mean? It's just, it's sad to look at. And I mean, I know it can, again, like you said, it hits harder for you, but it's just, again, I look at it as far as JJ had mentioned, I think on at one of our shows, how showing compassion, just mistreatment. Like, man, like I have this going on with me. Look at what's going on. I think they need to talk more on it because we do. I think sometimes with certain media outlets, they might stretch out a topic where it's like, okay, you talked about it enough. We gotta go. Let's discuss this because it's very important. I mean, that's really all I could say as far as just, again, we have a lot of work to do, and I mean that's all I pretty much can say. What about you?
Right, and it's hard to figure out what the solution is going to be.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just trying to escape so they can have a better life. And I wish they could come in here freely and get in and live that life, but they can't right now. So
why are they holding them? Like, are they trying to charge them? Or
in so many cases, there was a law that was put in play that opened up the floodgates, so to speak, and people started coming in by it was just they just started coming in at a high rate. Right now in this country, we have 85.1 million immigrants in this country alone.
Wow.
That's a very big number. So when you think about how many people just that we have here in this country, not to mention the ones that are coming in, how do we control? How do the question becomes now, what do we do? How do we know? And you have people that are coming in that want to live a better life. You have people here that are being separated from the lives that are already here, going back to their own country. So it's a huge issue to try to sort out. Not to mention, we have police brutality going on. So on the Spanish TV networks and media channels, you see this all the time. They go over it and talk about immigration all the time because it's Latin community based. But you won't see this on CNN. You won't see this on Fox News. You won't see this on MSNBC. Rarely you see stuff about that. Because it's just kind of like, it's not the hot topic of the moment, right? Let's just call it what it is. It's not the hot topic of the moment. So as something that's what I see as what could be done about it. This immigration has been going on for years. Donald Trump tried to do a reform by putting up this wall, whatever. And then the president before that tried to do something with immigration. It's been a problem for the country, but at the same time, it helps the economic structure of the country. So if you want to look at the balances of it all, the production, the economic solution here in this country, the majority of it is Latino based. They're helping the economy up in certain aspects. African Americans, Latinos, Asian, you look at the numbers, a lot of it has to do with the Latin community being involved. Now, illegally, yes, we're not doing it the proper way. I'll be a testimony to that. But how easy is it to become a citizen if you're actually, that's the question.
They never talk about that. They're always saying, "Oh my gosh," they're always saying, "Well, if they're here legally, then they should." I'm like, dude, have you tried to become an American? Are you a citizen? No, because you were born, so you don't know how hard the process is. And if they
keep going,
I was just gonna say, as much as you gotta talk more about, okay, what's the process they have to do? I mean, we have a lot of organizations that will help people in need. Maybe that's something that we can. You can help someone in need. Okay, look, help them out to go what they're doing. I mean, is it funds? Is it as far as resources? Like, what's the issue?
It's just a race thing, honestly. Because I remember a couple months ago, I saw this thing about how people from Russia, when they're about to have a baby, they fly over to America so that their child can be born here and that they can have those things. And then you have people from Mexico who try to do that, and then it's this whole thing. But they're just willingly. And they know that it's a thing. People from Russia, when they're about to have their baby, they fly to America so that their child can be a U.S. citizen. It's like, so how is that different from what's going on? And then you have kids who are like, not even infants, maybe like 3, who get separated from their mom in those camps and don't even like know what they look like when they get reunited with them. And it's just like, like that's just.
I mean, it breaks your heart. I mean, again, like. I always say on this show, I'm a mama's boy. Okay, I can't imagine being at a young kid, separated from my parents, and don't know when I'm gonna see them. I mean, for no reason. It's scary. And then I'll come back to like as far as like when news media outlets will show one thing and not talk anything really on immigration. Like, why do you think that they don't speak on that? Do you think it's to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, we can't talk on more? Sadness is a big headache. Is America ready for some more of this? We're all, what do you think?
I think the reality is that there's more important things that are happening right now, and then in the media outlets' eyes, that's what it is. I mean, I think the Spanish channels cover it all. Telemundo, Univision, they're on it, but When you look at the major networks, Fox and this and that, and MSNBC, CNN, they will talk about it to a certain degree unless something major happens. Like, you know, there was an uprising, there was a revolution, somebody got killed, a shooting, you know, in one of the camps, or somebody got wrapped. You know what I mean? Then you'll see. But other than that, you know, just to get to where they are at, the crossing over that's a journey in itself, and that's a whole other topic. I mean, we can go into the story that, but you know, that's the take on that, and I just appreciate you guys giving me your input on that. And on that note, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back right after this.
Rugged Evolution Beard Care is the hottest new beard care in the market. With 16 amazing scented balms and oils, you can choose which smell you want to try with our new sample balm and oil set, or use the mustache moisturizer and our new leave-in conditioner. Don't forget to add a wooden comb to glide through your beard without snag. Check out our website at ruggedevo.com or call for a private consultation 855-848-3029. And remember, rugged is the new smooth.
All right. Welcome back to our Smooth Club. Guys, the next question I want to ask you is, how has the pandemic changed you? We went through a crazy year being stuck inside. Everybody's lives was affected some way, somehow. So I want to just, like I said, ask you, how has the pandemic changed you? I'll start with you, Arrington.
I mean, I'm more comfortable with how things were going. I was never like, you know, man, I'm just trying to get used to the new norm. I mean, I just kind of flow with how society is taking it. I mean, I'm fully vaccinated, so I'm even more comfortable. Like, you know, once they do open stuff back, which is going to be real soon, you know, I'm fine with going the way things are. Nothing really changed. Again, I would say for 2020 as a business owner, it made me more creative, I guess, in a certain way. Like, I can, you know, still do stuff on a virtual level, which I enjoyed, but I do miss, you know, the in-person things. And yeah, I mean, I'm ready to get stuff going. I mean, I was telling the guys I was watching the UFC pay-per-view over in Florida, and they had 15,000 people. I mean, it was like nothing ever happened. I mean, so far we did not hear about any surges or anything. So it looks like we're in the right steps and moving forward. So
how's it changed you, JJ?
Well, I started a business, so that's one thing. Definitely, like how he said, the online portion of business is like I'm kind of used to it, just like being online and but it's just like kind of the extra creativity side of it is just like there's so much stuff now, especially because of the pandemic, like online. So it's kind of like how to stand out and not make your information seem so saturated. So like that's like the one challenge, but definitely just online business. That's my whole thing.
I think the pandemic has changed me as far as just like being a little bit more sharp, more mentally prepared for a lot of things. Like if there's another wave, how do I adjust? How do I make my content better? How do I do things better this time around? Like you said, I think luck favors the prepared here. Really, I just been kind of like low key, just been watching. I just been really just paying attention, trying to figure out what the next steps are going to be for me. And the pandemic is really kind of like was an eye opener. Yeah, wasn't really for me. It was just like, you know, it was a wave that just hit the country, it hit the world. So when this happened, I was just like, all right, what are we gonna do now? What's next? How is this gonna be affected? Why didn't we listen before?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like what? Right. You know, so it's like all these questions came to my forefront, and I was like, all right, so how do I change? What am I going to do? I mean, I'm going to try and drop my suit line this September. So I'm like, all right, let's see how this is going to pan out. You know, it's been over 3 years trying to get this started. So now it's like, all right, the pandemic has basically hopefully prepared me for this. I've been paying attention, trying to do my homework. But all in all, it's just, I think I'm a little bit more prepared now.
I definitely agree with Eric as far as like, you know, having that plan B whenever with that emergency, you know, kind of fun. Like when something happens, what can we do? How can we adjust? Man, you said something as far as how we were unprepared, not knowing how this was even going to happen. I'm gonna tell you, people started having an eye opener when they shut down the March Madness. They said, "Oh, we're closed up." What?
Yeah.
What March Madness? The whole thing? The whole thing? And I was like, oh, that's when I really took it serious. Yeah. I'm like, I heard about it. They mentioned it a few times, but I'm like, okay, you know, we had Ebola swine. Okay, we're good. Oh yeah, we're gonna close down all of March Madness, the rest of the NBA season. I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is really sick. The Olympics, I mean, which is
rescheduled.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that's the first in years. So it was definitely an eye opener as far as what like everything getting canceled and then, you know, quarantine shut down, stuff like that.
Another thing is definitely like finding different ways to like I guess say like relaxing, like kind of, you know, your mind. Like, you can't really go out.
Can't have that cabin fever.
Yeah, like how to like exercise your mind and stuff. Like I mean, home workouts were good for like the first month, but then it was just like, man.
It's like I would not recommend watching The Shining, guys. Don't watch The Shining. Don't watch that during time.
Like, that was a big thing for me too.
It's like home workout. You start picking anything that said, got a little weight. I'm gonna use this. Do a couple.
No, I brought my family's old weight room from the garage. Like, brought that inside, cleaned it up, and was trying, man. I was trying.
That's funny. It was a huge adjustment, but I think now that, you know, we've learned of 2020, and I mean they're still saying we're just not at fully nowhere near. I think I was watching something on the news. I think Dr. Fauci said, hey, maybe 2022, like the start of 2022, we probably gonna be, you know. And again, they're never gonna give you a full forward. You know, they're like, okay, maybe you can do this, maybe you can do that. So we really don't know to this day. We just can see how stuff goes and, you know, go with the flow.
Yeah. One way I changed, I keep more toilet paper at home now.
Got to keep that toilet paper, hand sanitizer.
It was a struggle at one point, going to stores and seeing those shelves empty.
I didn't realize how many different brands of hand sanitizer it was. I was like, hold up, I only knew about 2 of them. It's like everybody has hand sanitizer. I'm like, this is vodka right here. What is this? You know.
But yeah, for me, I definitely like slowed down. Like I was always going to go traveling, but I learned to slow down, relax a little bit, and just enjoy life a little bit more.
It's always good. It's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't know if in a week or so if you were going to get that, and you didn't know if you were going to make it or not.
You open up blinds and says,
because you saw like all the symptoms that people were having. You're like,
I know.
It was scary. It was scary because I mean, like you said, no one knew. How you even knew how? Like, how would I know if I have it?
Yeah, it was like the fact that nobody actually knew how you could get it.
It was scary. And I mean, I was talking with a friend of mine. Like, there's still like who had actually had it. She still says, yeah, my smells has changed. Like at the time, it was like up to 6 months where I couldn't smell or taste anything. But now she's saying, I'm smelling certain things, and it's like I'll smell duck sauce, and it doesn't smell like duck. Like I'm like, oh, all right, now that's scary. That's scary because would it leave permanent? We still don't know, but. Yeah, it was definitely it was spooky. It was definitely spooky.
Yeah, because I even woke up some mornings who were like doing a self check, like, can I breathe? Can I smell?
I can taste. Okay, I can smell.
Because I would like check my temperature a lot, and then they're like, oh, well, that doesn't even really matter. I'm like, well, okay. And like still, when I go to the gym to this day, they still do the temperature. I'm like,
yep. Every time I walk in, they check your temperature. Every time I walk, time, no
wrist, head. I'm like.
Okay.
It is 95 degrees outside, but let me
like the security. They try to check people, and they say they have guns and stuff on them. They just do like the little pat down, like a little, not really touching them.
Exactly. You have that one that don't care. Like you good.
You good. Like, okay. Nice check.
All right, sounds good. So the pandemic definitely has changed, I think, everyone in society today. So we'll be right back with our Smooth Club.
All right, it's time for some good bourbon talk, y'all. Okay, Majesty Bourbon, one of my favorites. It's a product of the state of Georgia. Majesty Bourbon, solidly enriched as a premium bourbon choice of the Peach State. An absolute showcase of flavor without a bite, Majesty's 80 proof offering has a medium sweet nose with light vanilla and caramel notes, finishing just with a hint of wood and spice. The experience is mellow, but not tranquil, providing the finish most bourbon drinkers prefer. Exponentialism is the goal of the Majesty Bourbon team, and with this, they have achieved it. Majesty Bourbon available in all local alcohol stores, ABC stores, anywhere you can find it. Yeah, drink responsibly.
Check out What's Going On Wednesday, a weekly vlog with co-hosts Arrington Gavin and Jonathan Jones. Hear them speak on topics such as sports, men's health, business, current events, and so much more. You don't want to miss as they tackle a range of funny and serious topics. Catch them every Wednesday on YouTube at Rugged Evo TV. Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, fellas, there goes another great episode of R Smooth Club. Again, follow us on all major podcast platforms. Follow us on our IG page at R_smooth_club_podcast. Thanks again for tuning in every Thursdays. Fellas, I just want to cheers to another great episode with you guys, another great conversation, something that was informative, and hopes, somebody that was listening or watching us, inform them and they learn something. So, cheers to you all.
Cheers.
Exactly. Yeah. Just another great episode. Cheers. I legit have nothing.
I can't think of anything.